Actually, no spouse talk online.
Sound like Scott watches the replays.
We're not talking about anyone's spouse or significant other. How's everyone doing?
Yeah,
we're doing good. Welcome back to Beard Dorks Untitled. We're the after party crew.
There you go.
Yeah, we're Nick's B squad that he hangs out with.
You guys are my plan B.
When you've gone through the whole party and all the hot chicks have gone home,
you guys are actually the main event. Like I love the Wednesday night rides and everything, but they're not consistently every week. And I suppose biking is a bit of a pain in the ass, but
I hear that
you more of a pain in the ass than
you fucking bitches that bike with Nick on Wednesdays. You're just a preamble. You're just like really bad foreplay. We're the main event.
I want to invite some of those fellas on. They seem like they'd be a good time online.
Like both in their 70s. Normally the Wednesday rides are with a plethora of different people, but those are the people who are around tonight. But hey, they're the one of the guys is 79. He's the one that usually hosts these slow rolls, but he had some health setbacks, just like maybe a little worse than I did last year.
But at 79, I'd say probably, he's probably more likely to have issues.
Worse than maybe lungs are in bad shape and weigh 315 pounds.
Well,
but
in his case, he might catch a case of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, be worried about that. No, Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that one. So
morbid.
Yeah, we're here tonight with the just a hangout because Lady was a bad friend and
terrible
pulled out, and I don't even know where Carrie is. So I was just assuming he saw that it was a hangout tonight and just decided to continue playing his game with 12-year-olds.
As if he even checked.
Probably
or he's just traveled into whatever medieval world he's into tonight, and he does. It's like Vegas. He doesn't have a clock on his wall.
And how dare Lady Lee have a date night with her amazing boyfriend? That's just terrible of her. So,
yep, exactly. All right, what's everybody drinking?
They're coming between Nick and can't have
starting
that.
with Lee.
I'm drinking something new from Propeller Brewing here in Nova Scotia. This is their Cerveza. And so, this came out just recently. It's in 6 packs of bottles, and of course they have the painted bottles. So they're doing the whole hey, let's recreate Corona or Sol, one of those beers. Although the alcohol is 5% alcohol by volume, so it's a little bit higher than those beers. And it's kind of like what you might expect a craft brewed, quote unquote, Mexican lager would be. Still kind of light and refreshing tasting, but beefier and more flavorful. And
nice. I am jealous. I want to try that, and I'm hoping it's still available when I come down to Nova Scotia in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Move on to Greg.
I'm just having a shelf turd. It's Zodiac Omnipolo. Usually a solid beer, but because it's not from here, you got to watch the dates. And I didn't this time because I have 2 LCBOs. My 2 local LCBOs I usually buy from. And I bought this like last week, I think, and it was a pretty fresh can. And I guess that must have been from the other store because I just grabbed one off the shelf today. Didn't even think about it. And look at the date now. December 1st, 2024. That's a little bit old. That being said, it's not bad. It's not bad. I remember the can I had last week being better, but I'm not sure if it was that significantly better. So it seems like it doesn't drop off that much after 5 months or 6 months, whatever it is. But yeah, they probably should. I'm guessing the company just doesn't give a fuck because it's Ontario. So where does this come from anyway? It's Omnipolo Zodiac from the States.
I think don't they have like a contract or something for brewing with McKellar, and they're actually brewed by somebody in Canada somewhere?
Yeah, you're right. Omnipolo in Toronto, Ontario, but they don't actually say where it is. I'll do a quick Google search while you're yapping, but yeah, that's the thing. It's basically a shelf turd for us, and it's really good for the most part. It's a really good beer. Just would be better if they rotate it every 3 months.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, definitely. All right. Hey, Greg, I'm going to show what I'm drinking. I'm drinking one of PEI's classic IPAs, Gahan 1772. Basically, Prince Edward Island's answer to Bone Shaker. It's it's not as strong as Bone Shaker. It's 6.5% ABV, but you can conveniently get this in New Brunswick, at least, as a 12-pack of 355 ml cans. Very convenient. I think when I bought the 12-pack, it was only like $26 on sale or something like that. It was pretty good. And the beer is pretty freaking. This is like one of my standby old school IPAs that I get every once in a while when I'm looking for something not remarkably expensive, but old school and tasty to drink. Right on. All right, back to the panel. Well,
we got comments.
We got comments. It's basically just Brandon. Hi, Brandon. Nice to see Lee back on, he says.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Why don't you join us, Brandon? You can fucking drink whiskey if you want.
Yeah, Brandon, you want the link? I can send you. We're just doing a hangout, so there's like no pressure to.
Yeah, you can just come on here and be awkward like usual, and there's no like topic or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can even pull your wiener out and get Nick's channel.
You talk about all the Nova Scotia breweries you want to join. Yeah. I just sent you the link.
Says he loves Propeller. Yeah.
He loves Propeller. He'll be trying it this summer. Yeah, he was telling me that he goes down to Halifax multiple times a year to hang out with some buddies and goes to the breweries. Wow. Yeah. But that's
so nice of him to offer to bring you back a bunch of beer you haven't tried.
Yeah, I know. He never brings me back beer.
Wow.
So Omnipolo is brewed at Brunswick Beer Works, which I actually didn't even realize. Like I knew it was an event space. I didn't realize they actually brewed beer there. I thought it was just an event space that they like had like beer festivals and stuff at, but apparently they brew beer there too. So
aren't they like a contract brewer?
Apparently they are, yes. But I mean, it's been many years since I've been there, but I only knew them as unless I'm thinking of something else. But I always thought they were just like they had like basically a ground that they had a bunch of beer festivals. I didn't know they had a brewery on site. So there we go. I learned something about Toronto. Probably don't know half of the goddamn breweries that are in Toronto. There's so many of them now, but no.
It's funny. I'm looking at the website for Brunswick Brewing, and they've got pictures of Innocent Gun original cans being run off the production line. So they must be like the Canadian brewer for Innocent Gun.
Well, Innocent Gun is basically like a gypsy brewery where they just keep they brew wherever.
Yeah.
Like they don't really have their own. They don't even have their own brewery, I don't think.
Well, they used to like have a location as far as I remember, but
I thought they never did. I thought they were
long time ago. They used to be all brewed in Scotland and shipped over. Like we're talking 15 years ago.
Yeah, but I thought they just kept they were very nomadic, where they just moved locations, didn't want to spend the money. And
well, I mean, they were nomadic in the sense that they got their barrels from different places. So like there was like their batches and stuff were like kind of like dependent on like what barrels they got from where and things like that. I think that was more what was going on with them, if I'm not mistaken.
Only we had some sort of show where beer dweebs could unite and maybe they could interview one of the owners of Innocent Gun.
Yeah,
Yeah, really. Back when we were all united under one beer tube.
Yeah, but when the guy who united the whole thing like crashes out and shits on all of his friends, then what are you going to do about that?
There's that.
Is a minor kink in the plan.
Yeah.
Well,
I still remember the female BrewTuber interview that I wasn't invited.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was invited.
Yeah,
but it was just me and Lee, and I don't think I said shit the entire episode.
Yeah,
up until the end where I made some weird comment about having a roll paper towel next to me. So,
wow.
I figured like somebody. Well, Greg's not here to do it. I might as well.
And then the next day, those ladies quit BeerTube forever.
Right?
Well, I mean, basically, you had the lineup. You had crazy, crazier, and then Erica, who's pretty cool. So she used to work at Black Oak. I don't think she does anymore, but I don't think she has for a while. I think her husband's a brewer or something. I think they may have started their own brewery or something. I don't exactly know, but she's pretty cool. Yeah, the other two were crazies.
Yeah, they seemed.
There's like one that was like Robin something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Robin LeBlanc, she's known for being a bit of a kook, and then the other one who was like I think she's like we'll just say LGBT advocate brewer. But it quickly went from like being not there's anything wrong with it, but it goes from being hey, we're female brewers to suddenly we hate men. It's like, okay, well, sorry, I don't brew beer. I'm not your competition. You don't have to worry about.
Yeah, she was overtly political with an agenda. It seemed like was kind of militant.
Yeah, like I mean, hey, our good friend Lady Lee, she's an LGBT advocate, but
she doesn't hate men.
She can talk about beer. She does not hate men, and she can talk about beer without wearing it on her sleeve all the time.
Yeah.
Because believe you me, if you want to get her talking, she'll get talking.
Oh, she'll definitely get talking. She's very passionate about the things she believes. She's just not a cunt about it. That's all.
There you go. That if she ever brings out a book, that should be the quote on the back of her book. Very passionate about what she believes, but not a cunt about it.
She can, if she writes a book, I will be the first to give her a quote on the dust sleeve. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah, you need that. She needs that Russell endorsement.
Yeah.
There you go. Can't get by without having a man in her court.
Exactly. I mean, give the book a little bit of legitimacy. Now, if she actually watches this back, she's going to be very mad.
The chances of her watching this back is absolutely zero.
Pretty much, yeah.
She barely has time to check our chat nowadays.
Yeah, between work and teaching and boyfriending and all that.
Yes, Nick. Thank you for specifying.
Yeah.
Oh, luckily nobody watches this.
So for a strapping good time. Well, to each their own butthole. So, I mean, whatever.
Grow up, Nick. Grow up.
Right.
Come on.
I mean, yeah.
So Brandon says, I'm okay tonight. I was just up the road to the buddies for a few hours, kind of putting around here, doing a few things. No, I'm just listening, and that's cool. Sorry, we'll come on. We're just doing a few things once here. Yeah, you said that. Don't stop apologizing.
Nick. He wants to be able to jerk off while he drinks his whiskey, okay, Nick? There's nothing wrong with that.
He wants to. I don't want to put any clothes on. I'm busy jerking off.
It's okay, Brandon. We understand. You think you're too good for us. It's okay.
Yeah, he's over his buddies.
Yeah, his buddies. Yeah.
He'll be ready for round 2 when Nick eats his breakfast sandwich tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Right. He's like, ha ha.
We are a hilarious bunch of asses.
Hey, at the same time, we're lucky we have a viewer. So actually, we have 3 viewers. Is anybody else is watching?
I know, and I'm doing my best to alienate him, but he's sticking around. So good for him.
Well, other viewers.
He's kind of stuck with me until I get fired. So.
No, Nick, you're getting promoted, and then Brandon's going to be your employee, and you'll have to lend him Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
Every week, Nick, you got to lend him
a few Blu-rays. I'm not talking to the work here, so.
I'm talking about lending Blu-rays. That's all I care about. Is you got to lend him Blu-rays.
I have to be the one to lend Blu-rays. Brandon still's got one of my Blu-rays. He was supposed to watch it and never did.
What movie is it?
Lost Boys on 4K.
What?
He's never watched The Lost Boys, so I loaned him my copy of The Lost Boys. I haven't even watched my copy yet. And Brandon's had it for longer than I owned it.
What?
I think I loaned it to him right after I got it.
I mean, I can understand
if it was Lost Boys.
I can understand if it was like your copy of Showgirls or something, and he only gets like 3 minutes into it and then has to stop. So
all those people in the 90s who had a copy of Showgirls and the tape was worn out in a certain spot.
Yeah, it was worn out in the sex scene in the swimming pool.
Which one?
Well, there's the big one where she's like
I'm just
there's no
there's
way.
a lot of sex scenes in that movie.
Yeah, there's like no way she's touching his dick at all yet. She's riding him. Yeah, unless his dick's like 5 feet long.
I like the lap dance scene. You get like full on spread eagle Jesse Spano right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, the fact that she's a crazy feminist and Saved by the Bell made it even better.
Yeah, she killed that whole image. It's like, I'm gonna get into the Saved by the Bell bullshit, and I'm just gonna throw my coochie on the screen.
She made a random appearance in the last season of Cobra Kai, and her character really had no reason to be there other than, I don't know, just they wanted to be there. So
I mean, does any character in Cobra Kai have a reason to be there? Oh,
that show is great. I will fight you on that, sir. That show is fantastic.
I have no love of Karate Kid, so I couldn't care less.
That's the thing about it is you absolutely have to have zero love for Karate Kid, which is basically where I was at too. And it's just like the best show that you've never asked for. It's just like it forces itself on you, and then you say thank you afterwards.
Thank you, Danielson.
Have you finished off Andor, Lee?
Yeah, I just finished it today.
What'd you think of it?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought they did a good job of like landing the series to the point where it's like, yes, you stop here and then you pick up with Rogue One right away, and
I mean, they definitely led into Rogue One. I will say it didn't give me the Star Wars experience I wanted. I enjoyed it overall, but I don't know. To me, it's not really Star Wars. It's like, okay, all the boring stuff I didn't really need to know about. So, but I was like, come on, give me some lightsaber or Palpatine at the end or something. Like, tickle my balls just a little.
I think there was enough balls tickling with characters that show up in the other Star Wars stuff and making little appearances, and Ben Mendelsohn there plays the guy who's like behind the Death Star project or whatever, and
I mean, well, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of stuff from Rogue One. Like, I'd say a lot of maybe not like all the characters, but a lot of the characters that lead into Rogue One kind of are there, and they talk the series about the mines and stuff like that. So, not really spoiling anything for you, Nick. Although I know you probably won't watch it. So,
well, I'll watch Andor season 2 at some point. I just haven't sat down and watched it. I really liked the season 1.
Oh, you've seen it? I didn't know you've seen season 1. Okay, yeah,
I've seen season 1.
It's more of the same. I mean, I think season 2 is probably a little better than part 1, but I had to rewatch season 1 to just even understand half the shit that was going on in it.
Like stealing Y Wings and Andy Serkis and what's his name? The guy kind of looks like Pedro Pascal. It's in the
you mean Andor?
The prison thing, like in the Andor first season. Can't remember his name. But yeah, like Rogue One is a fucking great Star Wars like add-on movie. Like I don't think it was like part of like it's like I think it's like it's the prequel that we wanted and didn't get, because we wanted to know more about like what's the history of the rebellion and stuff. Like George Lucas got talking about the entire like big overarching story of the Skywalker saga and how important the Skywalkers are to end the Force to like throughout history. And like I don't feel like as much as I kind of like the prequels, they kind of grown on me over the decades. But at the same time,
I think Revenge of the Sith is a legitimately good movie. The first two movies, I mean, they serve a purpose, but I don't think.
They serve a purpose to tell part of the story. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith is. I feel like Revenge of the Sith I like better than Return of the Jedi. Of course, Empire and Star Wars are better, but I feel like Revenge of the Sith is, this is like even as disappointing as parts as the original prequels were, Revenge of the Sith was still a pretty good movie. Like it had some really tacky spots in terms of dialogue for sure. Like you turned her against me, that bullshit. I am the high ground. You don't understand. It's made by power.
George Lucas can't really write, so I mean that you deal with that, but they give you the fan service. I mean, I prefer. I prefer like New Hope is my least favorite of the original trilogy, and I think I prefer Revenge over that. I like Return of the Jedi. I mean, a lot of people don't like the Ewoks. I'm like, they're fine. They do.
The Ewoks are fine. It's just coming up after how brilliant Empire was.
See, what I'd like is some sort of series that gives the best of both worlds. Because let's look at Andor and let's look at the complete solar opposite Obi-Wan Kenobi,
opposite.
which is like Obi-Wan Kenobi is just fucking the most fan service series they've brought out so far. But really, the story of it is fucking awful. And really, other than like the main characters, I mean, all the other people they introduced in are fucking awful, and it's a stupid story. But again, they give you those
good to
fights.
see Ewan McGregor come back though.
Yeah, they gave you those fights. No, Ewan McGregor was great in it. Hayden Christensen was great in it. Like those two were spot on.
The Ahsoka tie-ins, yeah, that was Ahsoka and Rebels tie-ins.
Oh yeah, I like Hayden Christensen. Keep bringing him back. I mean, now that he's got some decent, at least half decent scripts to work with and some dialogue, like he's a good actor. But again, I'd like something like Andor, like that's written like Andor, that has like Andor's got a really good, really intricate plot. But I just want a little more fan service thrown in there. I want some lightsaber duels here and there. So, yeah, I need those two things combined. Maybe I'll just splice and make my own fan.
Well, because Andor is basically, I look at it as it's kind of set in a world that's kind of like our world is right now, where it's like someone saying like "May the Force be with you" is kind of the same as like some Christian coming up to you and saying "God bless you," which is
basically.
Oh, like, you believe in that old religion bullshit? Okay,
yeah,
thanks, and then you move on with your life, kind of thing.
I just find it so funny though, is that like let's look at Christianity for instance, right? Some people, a lot of people believe in Jesus, right? And if Jesus was a real person, God or human, whatever, they're around over 2,000 years ago. The Jedi were wiped out like 30 years ago, and like there'd still be people alive. They were like, yes, I've seen lightsaber duels, I've seen Jedis, I've seen a thing. Theoretically, there's still some Jedi alive, few and far between. And
you make it sound like, what was that 90s song? Like, what if God was one of us? You make it sound like except for it's Jedi. And
well, no, I think one of the points here is that the Jedi were so like systematically wiped out by the Empire that like within a generation, they've almost totally wiped out like all belief and killed most people who actually did witness like Jedis in their lifetime and stuff, and like drove out most people who would like talk about Jedis to, if not wipe them out, drove them to like the fringes of the galaxy where their voice isn't being heard. Like I think that's kind of what one of the points is, that the Empire is so so prevalent and pervasive. And has so much rule over the entire galaxy at that point that
you're welcome, purple side back forever.
Do we know who that is? Do we know who that is?
Yeah, but the point is that like the Empire controls the narrative so much now that like there's hardly anyone who, if there's anyone who remembers the Jedi, they're either dead or they have no voice to like speak about it. So.
I think the Empire might be an analogy towards Nazis or something.
Kind of, considering the
kind of Jedi Holocaust happened.
Considering the majority of Andor is like, hey, let's focus on the bureaucrats and the stuff who exist within the Empire and are like just these Nazi pieces of shit who trade in their humanity for power. And oh, hey, by the end of Andor, they all pretty much end up having leopards eat their faces. Amazing how that works.
Spoilers.
Goddamn space leopards.
I mean, how can you call a series like I want to see the episode, but how can you call it spoilers at the end, because you kind of know where Rogue One goes?
Yeah, I mean, you know where the story's going. It's just like it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see the personal stories. Is like you see the bureaucracy of the Empire and like the people within it, and how the Empire like just like churns them through the machine, basically, kind of thing. It's like
what's this?
One day you're like an officer in the Empire, and you've got everything going for you, and the next day you're like in an Imperial prison because they suspect you of being a traitor or whatever.
Even the guy at the end of I can't remember his name, but sort of the big bad kind of at the end of Andor, who basically everyone below him gets fucked, and he's the big bad in Rogue One as well. And by the end, Tarkin fucks him at the end.
So. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. The guy
that's the guy.
I know who you mean.
The guy Ben Mendelsohn plays. But then you see like the flip side is like everyone who's involved in the rebellion, you see them basically give up their lives. Like they decide like, you have a choice. You can either like fly off to like some other part of the galaxy that the Empire doesn't really touch at this point, and maybe hope to have a life where you're not abused and treated like shit, or you can choose to stand up and fight fascism. And to do that, you may have to like give up everything that's good in your life and basically just give up your life. And like that's basically the story
like
of the
fascism, but it's like French resistance without
the
US or Britain to back them up because they're all gone.
Yeah, and I mean that's the story of the main spy master that we see in Andor. They're Luthen Rail, played by the Skarsgård there.
Stellan Skarsgård's fucking fantastic in whatever he's done. Like I love that guy.
Like the last 3 episodes, you finally get his backstory.
Oh, cool!
And you see like how he got to where he is, and how his assistant got to where she is, and like it's a really nice little like kind of heartbreaking kind of story of like, oh shit, he gets put in a corner, and then she basically gets put in a corner because she owes a debt to him, or at least she feels like she owes a debt to him. And you can just see like how much both of them gave up just to like get the resistance off the ground and start it. And also how like the rest of the Rebel Alliance at this point kind of like look at him as an outsider and like kind of want to downplay his involvement in the building of the rebellion because they don't agree with his methods 100%, which is
he's not a cool rebel.
Well, I mean he's a guy who even says in Andor that he is willing to kill his allies if he gets pushed in the corner and he has to kill his allies in order to continue the cause, which we see him do in the show. So, well,
Saw Gerrera is the exact same fucking thing. As he's part of the kind of part of the rebellion, but he does his own methods that they don't approve of, and he's a lot more violent. And
Saw Gerrera is like the fanatical like jihadist of the Rebel Alliance. Like he's the like militant jihadist version. Like, and that was the whole thing I liked about Rogue One is that they like presented, there's elements of the Rebel Alliance that would be like the jihadist terrorist bombers compared to the rest of the Alliance, which is like trying to come together and agree upon goals and methods. And like that's just one of those things that's like a part of the discussion in Andor. It's like, okay, the Rebel Alliance is forming. If we're going to have a sustained alliance and rebel against the Empire, we have to come to an agreement what we believe in and what our methods are. And there's all these different little groups at this point that are like, no, I have a different idea of what we're supposed to do. I mean, we're loosely connected, but Saw Gerrera wants to go about it a much different way, and he's almost more like a pirate to some extent.
More like, I was going to say anarchist, but yeah.
So, the whole series kind of tackles that idea. Tackles like you said French resistance. Like there's a whole few episodes in the season where it's basically just a French resistance movie because the planet that they're on where that sort of part of the story takes place is like coded as French. Like down to them speaking the language, it sounds very French.
They don't fucking even hide that it's the French resistance. Like but it's and again, Agnes didn't. I watched the finale last night, although I did have a few beers in me. But Agnes and I just rewatched it before we started. Because she went to bed, didn't get to see the last episode, so we watched it. And she doesn't actually remember Rogue One, so she's like, "Oh, okay, so now we got to watch Rogue One." I'm like, "All right, we'll rewatch." I mean, I haven't seen it in a few years, so I definitely need a refresher. I don't totally remember how many of the characters directly go into Andor, at least some of the minor characters. But so definitely it's gonna be a watch.
Skarsgård doesn't. So
no,
No,
spoilers. He dies in Andor. Yeah,
I kind of expected that.
So I mean, if you don't see them in Rogue One,
you don't see them in the movie. He's dead.
There are a few characters who survived. Like there's, I'm trying to think if this is do you think the baby is too much of a spoiler, Lee?
I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler in the sense because it has no real
It doesn't, because it's not
Rogue One.
it's not explained. So
Well, no,
and-
I mean, I think it just hints that there is a semi happy ending to what we know happens to Andor and Rogue One. Like we do know that at the very least his girlfriend has their baby and they're out there somewhere safe.
well,
So,
yeah,
like-
it's
like, so you're-
implied it's his baby.
Yeah, so you're supposed to like take that thought into Rogue One and go, okay, Andor dies, and not only does he die,
He's a shitty kid.
yeah, well, not only does he die for the betterment of the rebellion. Out there somewhere, his girlfriend remains alive, and their kid supposedly is also out there somewhere. So there's an Andor Junior out there somewhere. So that was just like it just felt like a little tacked on thing at the end of the series to like give somewhat of a happy ending, because I think everyone who watched Andor already probably watched Rogue One and knows, oh, well, he's just going to his death. Like we're ending on opening up Rogue One, where that movie is all about basically him on his last mission where he ends up getting killed. So they want to put like a little bit of a positive spin on it and not make everything super dour.
So apparently the fan theory with it, now again, we don't know, Disney can do whatever they want, but the fan theory apparently is that kid ends up being Poe Dameron in the sequel trilogy.
Really?
Which I mean the age-wise it would probably line up, give or take, but
I suppose.
and I mean he kind of looks like Andor, I guess, but I mean I don't know. Again, Disney will do what they want to do, but I'm sure at some point it'll be explained in a series.
It's one of those things like, well, Star Wars universe is so vast. Does everybody have to be related?
Yes, in Star Wars they do. Everyone has to know
know.
everybody. Remember when what was it? The Last Jedi tried to make it that Rey was a nobody, and fans for
And then they say, oh, it's actually Palpatine's daughter.
yeah, and I mean, listen, I hated The Last Jedi. I thought it was the worst Star Wars movie, but again, it did try to do something different, and people hated it. And so basically, Episode 9 was literally damage control. Hey, everything that happened in Part 8, let's explain why it didn't actually happen. And now it's fine. Yeah. And now Palpatine's back for some reason, because
somehow Palpatine returned.
The fact that they announced his return in Fortnite is something.
Yeah.
I mean, that
was a total fan service move.
They might retcon it, but like I'm just looking at like Wikipedia right here, which pretty much is solidified Star Wars canon at this point.
That's as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, Poe Dameron is definitely not Andor's kid. Like,
oh, okay.
It lists his parents. It lists when he was born, which is 2 years before the Battle of Yavin 4. Where if you go by Andor, the kid you see was obviously born 1 year before Yavin 4. So yeah, but I mean, it would make an interesting continuation, because you're right. Like, he does look a lot like Andor. So yeah.
I mean, on one hand, like Disney seems to be sort of distancing themselves. There we go. From the sequel trilogy, because it wasn't very well. It wasn't very well received. But on the other hand, like even Mandalorian has some sort of like they have hints towards the New Order and stuff like that. So
right.
It's totally possible that they are going to try to make it better. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, when you make a trilogy of movies, a planned trilogy of movies, you have to fucking plan the goddamn thing. Like George Lucas, probably one of the worst writers, especially of character dialogue of all time. But at least he had a fucking vision beginning to end that he put on screen. Whether you like it or not, it's a coherent story. Where
look how successful his vision has been. Like, he did a fucking bang up job with creating a universe that's been involving and engrossing for decades.
He's
like you can't deny that.
Martin, where basically, like George Martin, he has an idea, he has the tent poles to it. He has an awful lot of fucking problems writing, and when other people write his shit, it turns to garbage.
The thing is, like George R. Martin with characters is kind of like somebody playing with geeky cars. Is like,
yeah, he likes to
just smash them together and have them die.
Yeah, but and I'm good with like Andor's girlfriend and his kid like never showing up again. Like that'd be fine because I think it makes sense in the context of like
happily
what-
ever after.
what Andor.
It would
just
be
make
fine, but
yeah, it just makes sense in what context of Andor is, where it's like it's all about characters making sacrifices to accomplish goals, and like one of the big sacrifices that Andor makes, and honestly, to an extent, Andor's girlfriend makes, where she's like, "I'm done. I got to get out of here." It's that's the result. The result is that she gets to like live somewhere else, happy with her kid. She never gets to see Andor again, and that's the consequence. But she at least gets to go on with her kid, and the thing is, Andor never gets to have a life after that. Like he wanted to start a life with her and get out of the resistance, but at the end he's stuck in the resistance, and his sort of path is chosen at that point where he ends up in Rogue One and dying.
I don't think, like, I know critically Andor is probably I'm sure it's got to be the best reviewed Star Wars series, but financially I don't think it's a big moneymaker for Disney. So there's a good chance they may just leave that storyline alone, and it may never get explained. But
They probably will. I imagine so. Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of hookers, we weren't talking about hookers, but here's some Stone Hooker Broad Reach Nor'Ester IPA, and they don't even have a canning date. However, I had this one last week, and it was freaking delicious.
Should say Nor'Ester.
I did.
Is it Nor'Easter?
No, sorry, Nor'Easter. Yes.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Carrie.
I'm having my last stupid cheap can of Glutenberg Blonde. I got these.
What a bitch.
Well, I got it for $2.50 or some shit. So I'm like,
Cheap
well,
bitch.
you know what? It was cheap. Yeah, cheap drink.
Mm-hmm.
Is it any good? I'm assuming it's gluten-free.
It's not bad. Like, as far as gluten-free beverages go, I think this is the cat's ass. But yeah, you know what? I would actually think that this is good enough that if you're looking for gluten-free options, this is actually really solid beer. But I mean, if you're looking for a blonde ale, there's definitely better blonde ales. I just feel like this is, it's reasonably decent for what you get. But other than that, it's, like I used to say, like if you were gluten-free and you were looking for like most gluten-free beer options suck ass. Mm-hmm. This one's palatable. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I haven't tried too many gluten-free beers, but
it's like, well, I would say like when you're looking at non-alcoholic beers in comparison, Guinness 0% is pretty great. But
yeah, it is. That one's not gluten-free though.
Yeah, no. This is like to gluten-free beers what Guinness 0%. I would say that if you were going to compare something like this is what Guinness 0% is to non-alcoholic beers to gluten-free beers, but I would say Guinness is better. But this one's pretty decent.
Well, you're basically saying punches above its weight class.
Yeah. I would say maybe this is fair enough. Like this is kind of like the equivalent of blonde compliments blonde for non-alcoholic.
This is just a very tasty IPA, although only 5.4%. So, but these guys they're only about 10-15 minutes away from me. We've been to their brewery a few years ago. I think it was before COVID. Food was
Stone Hooker. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Stone Hooker. Food was okay. Beer was okay. Nothing particularly special, but this beer is really good. I want to. I'm gonna have to go back there sometime soon. Maybe they've improved themselves. Plus, I mean, geographically very convenient. There aren't actually that many breweries in Mississauga, so. Despite it being a fairly large city, bigger than Toronto, square footage wise, anyways.
All right.
Yeah, not nearly as dense as Toronto or as many people, but a lot of asshole drivers though. So I mean, that's comparable to Toronto.
Cool story, bro.
Apparently, speaking of Toronto, apparently Leafs aren't doing very well tonight. Oh well.
Oh,
that's enough.
Yeah. Is it? I've been wondering about that. Like they've been kind of. Oh, ouch! Ow! I know Lee doesn't care about hockey, but damn it.
Wow. So anyway, back to beer. Let's not
All
talk
right, back
about
to
this.
beer. Let's stop talking about hockey and how the Leafs are losing 5-0.
Oh, it's 5-0
It's
now.
just
Okay.
me and Greg talking. So, how's Brandon doing? He's still
We got
watching?
the-
No, we've only got one.
We got
viewer.
the Irish goodbye.
Yeah, we've. I can't have him because it's the error message. Oh, there he is. We stopped
he's
talking
back.
about. We stopped talking about hockey and how the Leafs are losing 5-0.
Nah, I went to. I closed my browser instead of closing a tab.
Oh,
So,
I mean, I
It
feel,
was
I feel,
it was great timing though. We started talking about hockey and all of a sudden,
yeah,
like, well,
yeah.
fuck.
I have little to no interest, but every once in a while I just check the score. I'm like, oh, are they doing well? No, not doing well at all. Goodbye.
Nah, Leafs are losing. Jets are down. Edmonton's doing okay, but we won't talk about hockey.
Well, if Dan's here, we will, because that's his favorite team, and he just loves to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
we got to cheer for Dan's favorite team.
No, his favorite team is the Alberta Lactose Legionnaires.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds like a good team. Like I feel everyone on that team. It should be like a ladies' league, and they should all be like breastfeeding.
Sure.
Brandon's like, I'm here. Sorry, not much going on here. Just folding laundry up.
Well,
there
you
you
could
Gotta
be in
be
the,
done.
you could be in the chat talking with dynamic personalities that you enjoy, but instead you're folding laundry like some sort of fucking
Doing fucking chores like a peon.
Yeah.
Well, to be
Leaf.
fair, nobody's gonna fold his underwear for him, so he's got to do what he's got to do.
I guess. I
Slaughter
mean,
night.
who folds their underwear though? Like you
Who
need to
No,
do
folds
that.
your underwear? What kind of freak folds your underwear, Greg?
Yeah.
I don't fold my.
Well, unless you're like wearing.
Lee doesn't even wear underwear. Like,
Yeah, no, I don't even have to fold them, bitch. Bam.
like,
I
kind of weird how we know that.
Because he just told us.
I don't fold
'Cause
my
I-
underwear. I
'cause I-
just pull it
yeah.
out of the pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I throw it.
I don't
I
even
mean,
fold laundry.
I hang shirts. Otherwise, everything basically gets thrown into the hamper. It's all good.
Yeah. Nick only folds his underwear when he's got to hide a streak or two. That
Right.
you know.
I just have a collection of laundry baskets, and I have like the front is for socks and underwear, the back is for shirts.
Okay.
If I
And then
if I'm doing laundry for ladies, other than my wife, because she has to love me. But if I'm doing laundry for ladies, I'll usually I'll fold their stuff nicely just to impress them. But
in order to get laid.
it doesn't happen too often though. Only if I have a guest staying for a few days.
To your sisters and sister-in-law's underwear.
I have washed my sister-in-law's underwear. I folded them very nicely for her.
Yep.
Not this go around, but she was with us for 3 weeks in 2022, 2023, I think, something like that. She was
I
with
wonder
us
if
for
she
3 weeks.
doesn't stay very much longer. It's like, oh, Greg was touching my underwear.
Luckily, all the
I gave her the option to do it herself, and she's like, "No, I'll just throw it with yours." I'm like, "I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. No difference." So
luckily all the women I've known have, whether I've been involved with them or not, have always been as big a slob as I am, or
There you
even
go.
more so. So, yeah.
Yeah, when Neely was around, we just threw her shit in the same laundry. There was
you shouldn't poop in the
wash
laundry.
everything at once. Oh, she's got her lacy under things mixed in with my t-shirts or towels. Just
Yeah.
wash it all at once. That's one thing I don't get. Like, I remember back in learning how to do laundry for my mom years ago, and I'm thinking like she used to separate everything, separate the towels, you separate the lights and the darks. I'm like, I just throw everything into one fucking big wash and do it, and everything comes out fine. Like, I don't get it. Like, why would you want to separate lights darks these days? Everything works fine.
I mean, you always get the rare thing that ends up bleeding into their.
Oh well, if it's like a color like red or something like that, then I'll wash that by itself first to get the excess dye out. But half the time you don't have to worry about it. Like, I'll wash reds together when there's something brand new. Because I have had that happen where I've watched. I had a work uniform or something like that when I worked out west, and I washed a white T-shirt with it, somewhere. I've got a nice pink T-shirt still in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I mean it can happen. I mean, I find that the whole dyes leaking thing is like it's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
I just throw
It
clothes
used to be
in
a bigger
together.
issue, and it's not
Well,
so
I
much
mean,
anymore.
this
Bleeding colors.
this comforter that I have over here, this new comforter I have on my bed.
Yeah.
I should have put it in the washing machine first to get like the excess dye out of it, because now it's like it's a situation where I wake up every morning and my hands are like, at least my fingertips are like kind of black with dye.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow, that's really leaking.
Yeah, I would. That's really bad. Yeah, I would wash that, and then
Yeah.
dry
I mean,
by itself, and then we probably get a lot of it out of there.
I mean, in another month or so, I'm going to put it through the wash anyway. So,
Brandon's saying I've been a slacker like that too. I save power to save doing extra loads. Towels and things can cause more lint, but depends. I have a few dress shirts I will wash separate, but that's about it.
Yeah. There you go. Brandon's got it down.
I mean, if it's specific materials that need like special wash instructions, like for instance, some jackets or like some bed sheets and stuff that have specific wash instructions, I'll do them separately. But usually they take a whole load anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You always have to take a whole load, Greg.
Exactly.
That's right. Brandon's picking and choosing where he's dumping extra loads. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. This kid had to be made somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon's young; he can put his extra loads anywhere he wants.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was an invite from Nick, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that just
Gross.
feels like wow. That might be workplace harassment at this point.
It's an invitation, like normally I'm sure Brandon wouldn't, but you never know. He'll be lonely some Friday night, having a few too many whiskeys, and make his way over to Chris Pamsis and see what happens.
Mouth to mouth. He says he's particular of his loads.
Wow.
He knows where to put his loads.
He says, I don't wash every week. I'll do separate. LOL. I hope he's talking about clothes there. I hope you wash.
Yeah,
every week.
I was gonna say, I hope you shower more than once a week.
Yeah.
He knows where to put his loads. That's for
If you're a good boy, Brandon, you'll be like me and you'll shower twice a day.
Yeah.
Not
doesn't
right,
want to
Nick?
get it all over the floor. He knows when to pull his laundry out on time.
Damn.
Well, he's got a kid, so I mean, maybe he doesn't.
Wow.
He keeps it in there until it's done.
Jesus, Nick.
Of course, that was that one time 13 years ago almost.
Well, that just got
Brandon's
awkward.
probably laughing his ass off right now.
That one time Brandon forgot to pull out.
That time his pull-out game wasn't on point. Oh shit! Yeah, I shared Brandon that. Remember that meme I posted in the chat or Facebook earlier? It was you burnt your pizza, you got your girlfriend pregnant, and there's something else. And like, yeah, your pull-out game's not on.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't pull that logo quick enough.
Jesus. Well.
Yeah, what was it? My day is just crap. What's wrong? Beer frozen, burnt my pizza, and girlfriend's pregnant. Well, you just can't pull anything out in time, can you?
There you go. I'm saying the pizza is the one that you literally can't fix. You have to get yourself another pizza.
Yeah.
There's always plan B when it comes to pregnant.
Ordered
I don't
pizzas.
know. But I think if you know she's pregnant, it's probably a little too late for plan B.
Yeah. You
It's
can
too-
let your beer defrost, so you can do that too.
That's true. I mean, you can just leave the can
Yeah.
in the fridge for a little while. And
Yeah,
But
you
with
can-
the pizza, you can't fix that. It's like once it's
No.
burned, it's not like you can just dump more tomato sauce on it. And like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
there
can't
it's
do
good
it
to
burnt.
go.
I once with a frozen pizza a long time ago, probably when I was like a kid, even younger than Brandon. I burnt the pizza so bad because I just completely forgot about it that literally I had to basically scrape the insides of the pizza, so like the inner dough and the cheese, and basically kind of slop it together and eat it. Whereas because the actual the outside dough was so burnt, it was unedible.
Oof.
It's almost like eating your pizza with a spoon. Delicious.
Oh, Let's eat this slop out of this burnt pizza bowl.
Yeah.
That's good.
Roast
Oh.
pizza bowl. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Is
a
that
pleasant-
even a thing? Pizza bowl?
Should be.
Well, I kind of made a pizza bowl.
There's like there's like burrito bowls and taco bowls. Apparently, it is pizza
Yeah,
bowl.
why wouldn't it be?
Of course it is. It'll be. Or
There's
as
a
the
pizza.
hipster,
There's a pizza everything.
as the hipsters call it, it's a deconstructed pizza.
Yeah,
What
there's
the
a.
fuck is a pizza bowl? It's like just cheese and pepperoni.
I mean,
Oh,
if you just
hard.
want to, if you just want a basic bitch pizza bowl, yeah.
I mean, you can just
Crustless
literally,
pizza.
you can literally just take all the ingredients for pizza, put them in a bowl, cook them up, and
Yeah.
there you go. You
I
kind of.
mean, yeah, you just basically take all the toppings and some sauce and melt them in a bowl with some cheese.
That's how you do a pizza sub from Subway or whatever. You know, same
Oh,
principle.
yeah, instead of a crust, you got. Well, I think like a pizza sub, isn't it? Well, yes, but pizza sub's like marinara sauce and pepperoni, like the Italian style pepperoni they put on.
Yeah. And pizza
Italian
bowl,
VMT or something.
pizza bowl would just be like a if you want to go like super specific, and like you do with like a soup bowl or whatever, you would just have like a pizza crust kind of like bowl, and then have the pizza ingredients in it, and as like almost like a soup, and then you just eat it that way or whatever. Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. Like here, I'm gonna share one that I just seen on. This actually sounds like a really good idea. Like go to pizza bowl.
yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, like it's like a little bit of basil, the cheese, and pepperoni, and some toppings. And yeah, no, it looks actually really good.
Yeah,
Just the olive oil, garlic, and onion.
Almost looks
ground
like
chicken.
a
Why would you
Chicago
do
style
chicken?
deep dish.
mm-hmm.
I mean, you could do this to your cousin. Literally, you could just make this shit up as you go and just put it in like a shallow bowl for one of
Yeah,
those.
I
things.
mean, if you want chicken, you want chicken.
I mean, pizza's a universal food. It's like it's a thing that's so infinitely customizable. But every time you do it, it's recognizably pizza, unless you like really fuck it up and put like really weirdo out there ingredients in. But I mean, most people universally know what a pizza is on its base level. So,
But yeah, like I almost think like maybe you could make some kind of pasta bowl with like cheese and pepperoni on top, baked like this, but have like what's that noodles? Is it rigatoni? That's kind of like the hollow noodles.
yeah. Yes, is that? Yeah, it's rigatoni, right? The big cylinder ones.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that'd be really good. Like rigatoni and marinara as a base.
I mean,
And then
basically,
you
it's
have
like kind
cheese
of
and
just a fancy
mushrooms
lasagna.
and
Yeah, that would be at that point. It is kind of like a fancy lasagna of a sort.
I was thinking like that fucking sounds awesome. Like to make some kind of like rigatoni and marinara base and to have it as a soup bowl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really good. You get then literally it's just something. You call it Italian style, but it's just taking Italian ingredients and bastardizing something with it. And really, isn't that what all Italian stuff is anyway?
Oh yeah. The Italians are just all bastards.
Well, yeah, right.
They just steal stuff.
Mhm.
You know that's going a little too far. Saying Italians are bastardizing. I mean,
They're
it's
all
usually
terrible.
just like sauce, pasta, and meat is what a lot of, or at least the North American interpretation of what Italian is kind of like
That. That's also the problem is North American interpretation. It's like oh, Mexican food is all Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Mexican food is all this shit on a tortilla. Like
No, my guy, it's fucking obviously nowhere near
And
Mexico,
avocado.
but there's a fairly high Mexican population in Detroit, or Detroit, the surrounding areas. Oh my God, when we used to go up there, some of the Mexican restaurants Marson took us to, so fucking good.
There is
There's
one pizza style that I do not agree with though.
what's that?
I'm trying to find the name. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can find the fucking.
Okay. I think I've never been to a real Mexican restaurant. Like the closest thing I've been is like Taco Boy's that
They don't
or-
really exist in Canada for the most part. I'm sure you probably could find one, but
Oh,
it's
there's-
not a big thing compared to the US.
Yeah, like there is one restaurant that's really close to that Latino Mexican style of restaurant, but it's like a fancy sit down restaurant over on the west side of St. John. That's kind of got they popped up, and of course it was like during a wave of like Taco Boys opened up, and another place was supposed to open. I think we were supposed to get a fat bastard burrito, but it never happened. But it
Burrito
there's
and
this
Fat
one,
Bastard
I
is the
forget what
same
it's
thing,
called.
basically.
I forget what it's called, but it's like more like this authentic Mexican cuisine kind of place. And yeah, like I feel like I'd have to look it up, but it's like everything I've seen on the menu looks. I mean, it looks interesting, but it doesn't seem like that recognizable when you think of burritos and tacos, and I'm sure they have them.
Well, yeah, because you're probably more looking at like the more Americanized Mexican cuisine. But I mean, a real Mexican restaurant, they're definitely gonna have burritos and tacos. I mean, they're gonna be much tastier than fucking fast food tacos.
Yeah, not the fast food kind of tacos and shit aren't tasty.
Taco Bell's good, but it's it's very, you get fake meat in it and shit like that.
Well, there's that. Yeah, it's basically meat and sawdust. But I will say, like, I had like Taco Bell's been doing like a $2 taco day on Taco Tuesdays.
Oh,
So I've been going to Taco Bell on West Side like for lunch on Tuesdays. And it's like $6 and you get 3 tacos. And
that sounds amazing.
I
Then I get like another 20 tacos
yeah,
to
sure,
go
it's
with
Taco Bell, but it is real cheese, it's real vegetables on it, and on a nice tortilla. The meat's kind of weird, but for the price, you can't really argue.
I mean, I like Taco Bell taste wise. I don't eat there very often, but I do like it. I don't normally get that in like a fried supreme or something, and it's pretty tasty. But I mean, there's a place. So Marcin told me about this place in Port Huron. So basically, Sarnia and Port Huron are like on opposite sides of the border together. And there's this like kind of hole in the wall restaurant. I believe it's called like Red Rooster or something like that. And
that sounds familiar.
And it's a dive. Like you go in there, it looks fucking awful, but it's like authentic Mexican. It's literally a bunch of Mexicans that start a restaurant, and like it's a Mexican family. And you just get tacos. They're fucking dirt cheap, like probably the same price as the Taco Bell. Like they're probably $1 or $2 a taco. I'm sure they're more now because it's been years since we've been there. But they're so. First of all, they're so filling. Like Taco Bell tacos aren't that filling. These are like jam packed. Like I got 8 tacos because I was fucking hungry, and I could barely finish it. And Taco Bell, I could eat 8 tacos without even trying. Like. They were so fucking they were so fucking good too.
The contrast between real even going by the more common North American standards of food. Like when I talk about Taco Boys that we got here, and I think there's something comparable up in Ontario called Hub Burrito.
Never heard of it.
Sounds familiar. I don't know. Or Bar Burrito. There's Hub Burrito, Bar Burrito. I think Hub Burrito is like we've got one here, but it's like I think originated. What's that place called? Fuck, Hamilton.
Oh yeah. They have it, but not exactly any locations that convenient to me.
Anyway, it's like Taco Boys is the same idea as Hub Burrito, which I think is the same idea as Bar Burrito. Like for speaking Ontario speak, but when you go get like 2 or 3 tacos from like Taco Boys or Hub Burrito or something like that they're completely different than the tacos you would get at Taco Bell, because the ones at Taco Bell are kind of like a fast foody kind of option where they got a little bit of meat, like a little bit of vegetables, and then they're wrapped in a tortilla and you just eat those. But when you get the hell,
this is the one that I'm like, this ain't pizza. This is like the pizza. This is the pizza you make up at like a Saturday night.
What is that?
Altoona style pizza, distinct type of pizza created in the city of Altoona, Pennsylvania by the
Pennsylvania, of course.
Yeah. Definitive characteristics of Altoona style pizza are Sicilian style pizza dough, tomato sauce, sliced green bell pepper, salami topped with American cheese, and pizza cut into squares instead of wedges. And it's like
Ugh.
It's basically just like this is what happens at like late on a Saturday night when you're so drunk and hey, I want pizza.
This looks like late night drunk food in the fucking like
It's
toaster oven, you know?
It's what can I pull out of my fridge and make into something that
I'm gonna take some spaghetti sauce and green peppers and a slice of processed cheese and throw it on like a slice of bread and throw it in the oven.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't lie. It doesn't look like a great pizza, but if I had one of these in front of me right now, I would eat it. So
yeah, it's like the thing you eat if you're like desperate at like late night after drinking a ton. But I mean, to get this as a regular pizza, fuck no, no fucking way.
What's this? Brandon was talking about the new restaurant in St. John, Abuelitas. I've never even heard of this place. Supposed to be good for authentic, fancy, expensive Mexican. I don't know if it's my thing yet, but I haven't tried it. A friend of mine, Kara Grant, she was manager of Billy Seafood. She's cousin with Billy Grant, who owned Billy Seafood.
Oh,
Billy Seafood is the place I took you and Lee there in the market. And she was working at Abuelitas since it opened as a server. She knew the owner, but I think she knew Billy's was closing because it was weird. Started working there. It's rambling on.
It's the one that Lady Lee put out of business because they ate all their stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
Abuelita.
I mean, they shouldn't have given her that all you can eat offer.
Where is this place?
Yeah,
it's on Wellington Road, apparently.
What? Oh, let me tell you, Lino Reno, what I think about tacos.
This Tony Pizza taco. Tony Pizza's Italian.
Listen,
he's gonna talk about tacos.
These fake ass Latino wannabe motherfuckers coming up here with the fucking pieces of fucking pita bread and sticking some fucking cheese and some fucking hamburger in it. Fuck that shit. That ain't no fucking pizza. That ain't no fucking food, huh? You want some real fucking food? You come to a fucking good pizza joint like I got, and you talk to Tony fucking Pizza about some real fucking food. None of this fucking taco bullshit. Keep them in their side of the fucking border. Put the wall up. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus fuck.
Italians, we earned our immigration status in America, huh? That's it. We built this fucking country, huh? What did they build? They built nothing. They come in here with their fucking tacos thinking that they're gonna fucking charm the rest of the whites into fucking accepting their culture. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Stay out of a fucking lane, huh?
Jamie, you've never seen a gabagool taco, huh?
Ain't no fucking gabagool taco, huh? You don't waste fucking good gabagool on some fucking piece of shit fucking gutter food like fucking tacos, huh? Ain't happening. You don't do that. That's fugazi. Anyone come up to you with a fucking gabagool taco? That's a fugazi right there, bitch.
Fugazi?
It's a fake.
It's like a fucking fanook. All right. Okay. So this is that place that Brandon was just talking about.
Okay.
Abuelita's restaurant in St. John up on Wellington Row.
All right.
This is interesting. So, yeah, I kind of wonder what they've got there. They got margaritas, obviously. So, which one is your hot friend over at Abuelita's, Brandon? Is it one of these chicks? Is it the girl with glasses? She's cute. All right, so let's close that out. This is the one that was on the west side. This Casa Latina, which is over by, not far away from Moosehead. Like Moosehead's right here. So Casa Latina. So chorizo queso, melted cheese, and chorizo served with 5 tortillas. That sounds really good.
That sounds good.
What else is on here? Like obviously they have tacos and quesabira. Queso taco, tacos de pollo, tacos dorados, taco. Oh man, it's expensive, but damn, man, I want to try this place.
What's Vampiro? Down the bottom there,
Vampiro, crispy tortilla topped with melted cheese and your choice of sirloin, adobada, or chorizo, covered in fresh onions and cactus.
Wow.
And served with a side of guacamole.
Guacamole!
Yeah, I haven't been to this place, but this place sounds fucking amazing.
Sounds like a good place to go if you got some extra cash and you want to like really.
Extra
Yeah.
cash and maybe friends that'll go with you, like
Yeah, definitely. Like that. That's a
friend
like
Scott.
that's a take a couple friends and like split the bill kind of idea.
Gordita, pupusas, a burrito. Oh, they actually have a burrito for
Burrito.
sirloin paired with potato, onion, tomato, serve the side of rice and homemade sauce, spicy
Ah,
salsa.
they didn't say
$9.90.
no. They didn't say no beans in that. So I'm already on board.
Yeah, most of the time you get like the North American side, they have beans in, which I like to have the beans in. Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
not a bean fan, so
Well, whatever. Enchiladas. I mean, it doesn't matter. You get to ask for it not to be in there. Like, what's this in the picture? Does it say?
no,
Does that
no.
actually sound? This actually looks fucking good. Enchiladas, 3 tortillas stuffed with shredded.
I like the black beans. I don't really like refried beans all that much.
I don't know why you brought race into it, but okay.
Yeah, you have to bring race into it, Greg. Yeah, see, I like refried
do.
and I like black beans. I usually get the black beans, but I'll get refried in a heartbeat. All right, stop sharing there. Those look fucking. Those all look good.
Refried beans, you may not have a heartbeat.
So, Brandon's, I've been wanting to try it. Is that Abuelita's or the Casa Latina?
Or the hot chick that works there.
Kara Grant, the one in the middle you pointed at, I think I'm best friends with her brother. Oh, she is cute.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so it's supposed to be amazing.
What, the
Super
sister or the
authentic, super
restaurant?
descriptive. Cactus.
Yuck, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, they have to, like, if I went there and I was like, give me the Vampiro, but first you got to explain what the cactus brings to the Vampiro taco. If they could explain it well enough and like, oh, this is what it tastes like, this is what it brings to the dish, then maybe I'll do it. But like on its face, yeah, it's like cactus. How about no?
Tabit cact, fuck you right off.
Yeah. How about you fucking
right
stick
off.
that cactus right up your fucking tuchus, huh?
Tony Pizza.
Cactuses don't go up there that easily.
They do when Tony Pizza puts them up there, baby.
Wow.
Oh.
Maybe one of these days when you and Brandon want to go for lunch or something, you can drive up there and.
Well, considering me and Brandon are the only two that are fairly consistent at being on service desk, we never go to lunch together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, we're not really a big company, so I'm the only one that's full time on the phones, much to my chagrin. But Brandon's downstairs in the doing inventory in the afternoons because he's also the stock boy. So there you go.
Oh,
He's
there
kind of
we
like our version of Lee in the afternoons, and he's answering phones in the morning with me, and in the afternoons it's lately it's been whoever's been from some of the field technicians, if one of them's been on site for the afternoon. Or yeah, anyway.
Sounds exciting.
I mean, this brings up a good time to share our sponsor for this show.
Oh, sure.
So I'm gonna do that. Okay. Well,
would you like Fat Santa or a Muscle Santa?
When you say taco, 59 cents. That's all it takes at Taco Bell. Hard to believe, but you know darn well it tastes so good. Lettuce and cheese, wake up your mouth. That seasoned ground beef, run for the border.
Dong.
you're
You're a dong. Yeah. I know you're fascinated by that ad, Lee, but have you ever been to a Taco Bell?
I have been to a Taco Bell. There used to be one attached to my local KFC years ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you see, I miss that. Like the Taco Bell here used to be it used to be part of the KFC, and I feel like it was cheaper then.
It was definitely cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
But
They moved.
I just when I think of like having a taco, I'm thinking of like having like a full like piece of pita bread that you'd buy in a fucking store, as opposed to these little like taco shell bullshit things that you get from Taco Bell that were just like so small, and it's just like that's not a full meal. I'm sorry. I'm a big strapping full blooded boy. I need something more than like these little bullshit tacos that like barely fit in my hand. And yeah, I need something better than that. I need like a big fucking those pita taco soft shell stuff you can buy that's like, you know, like that big, and then it's filled with ingredients, and you're like, I can't have like fucking these little bullshit little things you do with one hand. Like that's just, I was just like, you know what, I'm not into this. And apparently the rest of the town voted they weren't into it either, because that soon dried up. So there you go.
Taco Bell is very much quantity over quality. Like I remember when Circa I was 18 went to the States and Florida. This was Florida, and they had a deal. I believe it was 50 tacos for $35. And you better believe me and my buddy, we got that, and we finished it off. It may have required a few bathroom visits along the way, but we finished it.
Well, I remember when I was like, we're going back like 23 years ago. I remember with a buddy, Taco Bell here, what it was in the KFC, it used to have like a special where I think it was like you could get 20 tacos for $20 or something like that. And I still remember getting that and splitting it with a buddy. And I remember it was a lot of food, but tacos used to be stupid cheap. Like even going back before that, like I remember, this is probably before Brandon's time, but there used to, and maybe he remembers it. There used to be like a place called the Riverboat in Quispam that it was a giant, like it was like an entertainment center where they had an arcade and they had a 10-pin bowling alley and they had Pizza Hut and Taco Bell in the place as well. Like, and you could get either personal 6-inch pizzas there for a good price, or you could get like tacos for $1 or something like that. Like, and then I think it was like 10 cents, like 20 cents more to get Taco Supreme, so you get the sour cream on it. I remember going in there and buying all kinds of fucking tacos at this place, and like because it was like, I mean, we had a Taco Bell in the KFC in town, but it was like in Quispam. We had this taco place, which was awesome. Yeah, anyway, that place is now a Staples that I think that Brandon worked at for a little while. Yeah. Anyway, it didn't last long. It only lasted a few years. But I still remember the arcade, because the arcade was really cool and had like a 4-way version of. You ever play the game San Francisco Rush 2049 or any of the Rush racing games?
I had it on Super Nintendo.
Yeah. You mean N64? I had, anyway, yeah, like they had this really cool like Rush 2049 4-way head. You could do like like race against your friends. And I remember they used to have like quarter nights over at the Riverboat arcade, and me and a bunch of friends, we actually had like a group of 4 friends. We would go over and like just like dump quarters into this thing, and we ended up racing against each other like for an entire evening. That was fucking fun. It was a long time ago. Oh yeah, this is here's showing Brandon's age. I went there a bunch. They had a bowling alley, arcade, and movie theater. Yeah, I remember the movie theater. That's where I saw Ice Age and Panic Room with Jodie Foster. And I think I saw episode 2 in there as well. Like Star Wars episode 2. I was in grade. Oh yeah, and Star Trek Nemesis. I was in grade 5. Went for my friend's birthday party during the Pokemon 2000 movie premiere. Got a special edition Ancient U card. I still have 20 Riverboat tokens. Yeah, I remember the tokens. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you could buy the tokens for 25 cents each on some like Tuesday nights or something. I still remember they had another game in there. It was like a first-person shooter called Area 51, and I think they had some kind of gun set up. You could like play shooter like that. And then I also remember they had like Daytona USA with the car.
Yeah, it was a gun. It was a gun shooter like Terminator 2 or House of the Dead.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like one of the last official Atari games or something like that. And there's also like Sega Hang On with the bike you sit on. Yeah, Dad Brandon remembers this. Those are fucking cool. Okay, I need more beer to piss. I'll be right back. I'd for Greg to take the channel down.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Area 51 thing now. Yeah, it just has like the light guns that you pull right out of the holster.
Yeah, it's like Terminator 2, the arcade game, or whatever bullshit they had back
Although
then.
I think the Terminator ones were they not like mounted on a thing?
Yes, I think they were mounted. You're right about that.
Yeah. G2 arcade game. Yeah, they're like mounted on things. Yeah.
Yeah, arcades were cool back in the day, even though they were just literally designed to steal your money. But
Oh yeah. They were generally like harder than most console games to the point where it's just like you're gonna die all the time.
yeah, well, my parents were the type of people who were like, "Why are you gonna waste money at the arcade? Just buy it on your Nintendo." I was like, "Oh, I can't buy this on my Nintendo." There's always those kids that spend way too much time and money in the arcade, and they're just sitting there kicking everyone's ass, like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or whatever.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, like you could cheese those games where, especially like I think it was Mortal Kombat, where if you just kept doing like fucking jump kicks, you could kind of like pretty much beat everything someone threw at you if they didn't really know how to play the game all that well.
Yeah, I used to be really good at Mortal Kombat 2 on SNES, and I could beat most people, and I knew almost no moves. So I would just literally cheat them to death.
I remember I was playing once, and I played against this older kid, and I really pissed him off to the point where he wanted to like take me out behind the mall and beat my ass.
Oh shit, bologna pizza.
Bologna
I thought it was a roll of toilet paper there for a second there.
Jamie. It must be Jamie. Yeah. Like, fucking look at this fucking ass.
Hey, it's Tony Pizza, eh?
Bologna pizza.
Bologna pizza. What a
halloumi pizza.
What a fucking fake. Huh? Look at this fucking wannabe. Wants to be Tony fucking Pizza, but he ain't fucking Tony Pizza. He's even got a fucking just basic bitch tumbler for his fucking beer. What a fucking gagagamoosh, huh?
Do you think he might be a mook?
He might be a mook.
Okay, in honor of Jamie being here, I'm gonna drink this can of Voodoo Ranger from New Belgium that I've had in my fridge for so long because I thought we were going to do a BA 101 on it. That it is canned January 2024.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing.
Aged perfectly. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
about as good as Jamie's fucking pour he just did there. That fucking Terrio pour.
Shout outs to Ron Terrio, the best beer reviewer.
Yeah, shout out to that asshole. Too bad there, Jay. By the way, you got yourself a new woke pope or whatever. So I'm sure you're really happy with that.
Juicy Jack from Santan. Sounds Asian.
Santan. So it's nice to see Jamie's still not drinking real beer. She's just drinking these hazy things that aren't actually beer. It's fine.
This is actually kind of fine. It's not great.
That's what most women say about me. So that's pretty good.
Not great. 3.6 function.
Yeah.
Not great, but not terrible.
I get like a 3 out of 5. You know.
Actually, I like that beer, Nick, from time to time.
Yeah,
I can't get it anymore.
Yeah, I remember saying one time I had it in the chat and Redbeard chimed in, "Oh, it's gross. It's the worst beer." And I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
It's okay.
It's weird that Carrie would share his opinion on anything.
Yeah, really.
No, it's maybe it's not his taste or was a bad one that he had, but I've had it a few times and it wasn't like it was super fresh and it was still pretty good.
Everyone's entitled to opinion, no matter how wrong it is.
That's true.
Hi, Nick.
Hi, Jamie.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How's Jamie doing?
Doing good. Doing good. So far, so good.
I feel like
Jamie showed up, and now Craig and Lee have taken the opportunity to take off.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a moment.
We were talking about arcade games for a bit ago and what we used to play. I remember, anybody ever remember playing the arcade game for X-Men?
Yes.
Remember it used to be like this 4-way arcade game?
Yeah. Beat 'em up, just like the Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Yes, the Turtles games. I remember playing them too.
Mm-hmm. What was the game? Like it was a arcade game where it was like an Uzi that was attached to
Operation Wolf.
Yeah,
Is that it? Yes. I was gonna say, like, I was thinking that while Lee was talking about the Terminator 2 game, like, because every summer when I went over when I was a little kid, to my dad's family's from over Nova Scotia, so we go over to Nova Scotia via the ferry back when it was still cheap enough to take. And they had a small arcade, but they always had Operation Wolf there. And I remember going over there every summer and like all the money I saved up for my vacation. I remember blowing it on fucking on fucking Operation Wolf. Yeah, that. Blowing it on that game while going across the ferry.
Yeah, probably the 3 arcade games that I spent the most money on and had the most fun on was that one. And when I was younger, it was Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man. Those are always fun. And then the other one was it was like a golf game where it had like a round, like it almost looked like the underside of an old school mouse where there was a big ball and you would spin it and they would shoot your golf shot. That was a fun game.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
What are you, fucking Ewart?
I remember one called Marble Madness. And I have the arcade game, like the Nintendo game. But there was like the mall here had the arcade game, but they had the ball where you can roll it in either direction.
Yeah. Rampage was another good one.
Yeah,
I had that for the Atari, Rampage.
Here's one I used to play. This one was janky as fuck, but like it had the most interesting fucking characters. It was a fighting game. It was definitely not as smooth as like Street Fighter, but it was just like the whole premise was that you had different like people from different times and places, and they brought them all into this tournament to fight. So you had like aliens and punk rockers and stuff like that, and it was like super bloody.
I remember playing one Off-Road Challenge.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was like basically Cruising USA, but it was like an off-road Baja, Mexico kind of game. Like I remember playing that when I was in like my brief stint in college. Ooh, propeller USB.
Nice.
Noise.
This is probably one beer too many. I've been drinking.
Brandon says, when I was in middle school, I went to Byside in St. John. Our lunch hour, we always went to Loch Lomond Mall arcade and played Turtles and Simpsons and everything else.
Yeah, the Simpsons beat 'em up game too was really good.
Oh yeah, I remember they had that little arcade in Loch Lomond Mall when Loch Lomond was still a mall.
I definitely put a lot of quarters in that Simpsons beat 'em up game, where it was a 4-player one as well, where you could have Homer, Lisa, Bart, Maggie,
and Marge with the vacuum cleaner.
and Marge the vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that game. I think
Definitely It's definitely better than that fucking Simpsons game for the fucking. It was I think it was either SNES or NES. I can't
Bart
remember.
versus Space Mutants.
Yeah,
Oh
That
yeah, I
was,
remember
that
that.
was Bart versus the World. Those are games that everyone told me were good, and I always hated them as a kid. Now I realize, oh, they actually weren't good. People were just
Brandon saying he's got Rampage for the N64. I'm like, I think Rampage for the N64 was probably a different game than the one we played on the Atari. Like where you had monsters like Godzilla and King Kong climbing up the sides of buildings and smashing the buildings.
yeah.
Like I feel like the N64 was probably different than that.
Well, no, the N64 Rampage was still pretty good. It was just basically the same game, but the graphics were updated, right? But yeah, Brandon's saying he had both of those Simpsons games for the NES.
Okay.
Those were like late period NES games.
I think I originally played Rampage on. I think I played it on my friend's Master System. I never had that system myself, but I believe my buddy did, and I think that's where I first played Rampage.
I think Brandon shouldn't be allowed to comment until he gets in here.
Yeah, it's really. He always says, "I'm going to be there next week," and then he shows up in the comments. And
Yeah, can you ban him for about an hour, Nick, until he shows up?
No, better yet, no, Nick, ban him from his work. Ban him from your workplace. Don't let him come into work tomorrow.
Ban him from work. Sure, that's gonna go over well.
Just like body slam him on the grass.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at the Rampage for N64. It's kind of like similar, but it's almost like a platformer where you can walk along and destroy buildings.
Yeah, it's updated with whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
I also liked the Sega game Altered Beasts, but it was the arcade version.
Okay.
I played that on Sega Master System too. That was a game.
I've got that on Genesis, and I remember that one's like it's almost like the furry convention of video games where he beats up people until his chest gets bigger until he turns into a big furry.
Yeah, that's
Rise from your grave, and then you rise from your grave, and then you go around and beat
Rise from your grave. Actually, you remember this was on the TurboGrafx 16, but you remember Splatterhouse?
Oh yeah.
I never played it, but I know of it.
Splatterhouse is very like that. That was the thing about Sega games, right? Is that they were the more adult console where they weren't kiddie-fied like the Nintendo. So like Splatterhouse and Altered Beast and shit like that.
Was there Splatterhouse for the N60 for the Sega Genesis? I was thinking TurboGrafx, but
it might have been TurboGrafx too. But I'm pretty sure there was a Sega version as well. But they had, they actually had blood and stuff in those games, which was something Nintendo couldn't do. Like the Mortal Kombat for Nintendo was like this bitch made fucking it's like green sweat coming off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat just had sweat flying off people.
Yeah, more like Nintendo.
And even like the Genesis version, you didn't have anything flying off of anybody unless you put in the cheat code for blood.
Right. I've never liked
the arcade had blood
game, so. For the Mortal Kombat games, there was a disconnect for me because I was looking at how, it was like they used motion captured like graphics or whatever for the characters and stuff. And so they made them look ultra realistic. And then as soon as you punch a dude, like this fake looking blood comes flying off them. And it's like, that just looks stupid. It just looks like bullshit. Like I always hate games where if you punch somebody and like a bunch of blood flies off them, yet they still look normal right afterwards. It's just like, okay, whatever.
Well, I was a fan of Mortal Kombat 2. And I played the first, I played the third one, but Mortal Kombat 2 is sort of the one that, partially because it was just like, when friends were staying up at the cottage for the summer, that was what we had in the NES, or Super NES. So it was like, that's what we're playing.
Yeah, so Splatterhouse 2 was out in the Genesis. The first one was on TurboGrafx. I had the first one for TurboGrafx.
Yeah, TurboGrafx 16 didn't last too long.
No. But it had that weird. Do you ever see the cartridges for it? They were like credit cards, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again,
if you take apart a Nintendo cartridge, it's exactly the same thing. It's just like this.
Yeah, it's just a small circuit board.
Yeah, a little circuit board. Even like a fucking USB drive without the without the fancy plastic shell. Is basically like that.
Well, maybe not that small.
Yeah.
Wow. Nick is size shaming again.
Yeah, exactly.
First he's Scott shaming, now he's size shaming. That's a hazy beer that Jamie's drinking.
Oh, it's a hazy. I wouldn't say it's a beer.
Brandon's saying I always got stuck on the first Simpsons game. The NES game is basically the same.
Wait, is he talking about the first Simpson game, like the one on NES, or is he talking about a?
Yeah,
a
I think so. Bart versus Space Mutants.
That one was so difficult. Like you couldn't pass that game unless you had like a guide or something to get into.
Yeah, it was like it was like playing Friday the 13th or the A Nightmare on Elm Street games on the NES. It was like
Nightmare on Elm Street. I like. Me and my buddy used to go through that game like on a weekly basis. But Friday the 13th, I never beat that game. That game was hard.
Yeah, I remember playing and beating Friday the 13th over at Scott's place. But it was with the Game Genie. Like the only reason I beat it is because I had like unlimited life or something.
No, I beat it the legit way, and it pissed me off because like, oh, you got to kill Jason like several times to actually get the real ending. It was like, okay, fuck.
You have to kill his mother in the cave or something.
Well, no, you can do you do that every playthrough. Like you can choose to do that every playthrough. Like it helps you if you kill her, like because I think you get like her sweater or whatever the fuck, if I remember correctly, which vastly improves your chances. But yeah, no, it's just like basically it's a game that forces you to replay the game several times over before you actually get the real ending, and it's just like annoying as fuck. It's like New Game Plus, but not even nearly as fun.
Yeah,
Gotta admit, like I was gonna say, like looking at the share screen window. Like Splatterhouse, man. Splatterhouse was really a fucking cool game.
Yeah, I was like, what if you had a brawler with Jason?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Jason going around. You are Jason. You're going around beating the shit out of everybody.
Hey, you ever played Dig Dug on ColecoVision?
Yes. Well, not Coleco, but Atari.
I Dig Dug, but yeah. Not on ColecoVision.
My a guy that I knew, they had the old I'm pretty sure it was ColecoVision where the whatever you call it, like it wasn't I don't know, it was almost like a block. It almost looked like an ATM or like something you pay with a credit card, and then it had a big knob at the top.
You sure it was ColecoVision or was it Intellivision? Might
have been Intellivision, where you slide different plastic cards in that went over top of the buttons.
It wasn't in television.
Intellivision. Okay.
Yeah. Intellivision. Yep.
Yeah. It was like the size of an old school 80s phone with one knob on it, and then you'd slide
No, that sounds like ColecoVision controller, man.
Oh, maybe they had that too, because I know Intellivision had some of the pretty much the same setup. It was like each game came with a card you slipped over the controller that gave you the control scheme.
So it was these people had it out there. It was their cottage basically, and they had
that's the ColecoVision controller right there. You can see
they had the original Pong with like the Pong controllers, and then they had can you show me Intellivision? What does that look like?
Yeah, that had this.
It was that one. That's the one right there.
Okay, I had one of those briefly. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend across the street had one, and I still fondly remember how like some of the games actually had like a voice, like sound clips and stuff in them and stuff. There was this one game, B-17 Bomber.
B-17 Bomber.
No, that was a cool
system. Neely had a ColecoVision growing up. Or not a ColecoVision, Intellivision.
Yeah, no, that was a cool system. I like that.
You got the little slip cards that would go in the controller and the disc for a thumb pad. It was a weird system. And then they had the second version of this. I remember seeing one of these briefly. Well, that's the original television, but like the second version. Where is it? Oh yeah, and there's the voice add-on, and then the Intellivision 2. I still have a Coleco. I think Brandon said he's got a ColecoVision.
He says, yeah, he says, I had a ColecoVision, so a ton of games, but my ColecoVision doesn't work.
There you go.
I'm
of
shocked
numbers and a big joystick.
a guy as young as Brandon had a ColecoVision. Maybe got it from like a father or like older brother or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like ColecoVision was like 1983, so it's older than Brandon is.
Yeah, like my first game system
Brandon's
was an NES. So I had nothing before that.
I think Brandon's like 1993. Talking
Yeah,
about game console was 10 years older than he is.
So I had an Atari. It was the 2600, 2800, and then we got the NES. Then we got an Commodore 64, and like my friend across the street who had the Intellivision, he also had like a VIC 20. And so I played all kinds of different like games so throughout those different systems. I still fondly remember the for the I think it was for the VIC 20 or the Commodore. It was the GI
Wow,
Joe
hi
game,
Jamie.
which was pretty good. But Jamie just coming in and just like thumbing at
Well,
us with his dick. And then
So my best friend growing up, and I'm not exactly entirely sure of the story, but basically their dad was a lawyer, and apparently he made good money and then didn't make good money. I don't know exactly the story there. So basically, up until like the NES, they had every single game system. So I would go there and play all the old game systems that I had no fucking clue what they half of them were. But then suddenly, for some reason, they didn't have money after that. I don't know. His law practice didn't work out very well. So like NES onwards, he had nothing. So he had to come to my place to play NES or Super NES and stuff like that. But all the old shit, I went to his house to play. It was great.
Speaking of old shit, here's a game that I used to play for. My brother's best friend had a a Commodore VIC 20, and he gave it to my brother. So, and it ended up being the first computer I ever used. But one of the games we had for it was this, a very aptly named Gorf.
Gorf.
Gorf. And it was like this like Space Invaders shooter game that had multiple stages and you could destroy the mothership and shit. I think there was like it was like, and I think it was like you could there was like an N60, there's like a Nintendo 64 and a Commodore 64 version. Not Nintendo 64,
I played
Atari
it.
version.
I remember.
Yeah, like my first game console was the Atari 7800, but because the 7800 was compatible with 2600 games, we had a shit ton of Atari, because when we had it like in the late 80s. There were so many people getting rid of Atari games, like shoebox. You could buy shoeboxes of full of Atari games at flea markets for like, or yard sales for like a song, like not much money at all. So we'd come home with like a bunch of Atari games in a box, and like this is all like before we had anything from Nintendo. But yeah, I remember having a lot of fun playing like old Atari 2600 games, and then we could turn around and we get like the more graphically advanced. Like one of my favorite games for the Atari 7800 was Exevious. If anybody remembers this game.
Wasn't it something fucking weird?
I remember this one.
Have a look, my Facebook friend recommendation. Do you recognize him, Lee? I don't think Nick will, but
what is it?
Sorry, I'm trying to get it.
I want to see tits, but I mean,
yeah, there's tits on both sides. Those are swinger chicks, but okay, his name's Larry Zern. Anyway,
I would swing for that, but
yeah. Anyways, it's the guy in the middle. Larry Zerner is his name. It's the fucking weirdest friend request. It's not a request, a suggestion. He played Shelly in Friday 13th Part 3.
Oh.
And they're like, why? They somehow are like, you want to be friends? You want to be friends with this guy? I'm like, I don't know. I like horror movies, maybe.
Yeah, no, I get some of those on the suggestions once in a while, because like I'm like tangentially like connected to like some horror podcasters and stuff, and some of them are much more ambitious than me and like actively go out and friend like horror personalities on Facebook and stuff like that. So sometimes Facebook will make those connections for me, kind of thing.
Oh, wants me to be friends with Agnes's dad. No, thank you, good sir.
No, let's not do that. Oh, Jamie's back.
Jamie's back.
Back again.
Back again. Still
Not that I
drinking.
want to ask, but I'm
friend.
having another one of these because I keep
Jamie's
picking more up. They're $2.85 a can. They're delicious and they're I don't know, patriotic, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I had the other one from Refined Fool. That was the bagged milk one that was supposed to be patriotic. That wasn't very good, but this one's delicious.
Yeah, just like bagged milk. Not very good. Awkward even.
Bagged milk is fucking awful. The only person who apparently likes it is Carrie. I'm just like, I don't know. But the thing is, I think if you drink milk like Carrie says he would go through a bag of milk a day. I'm like, that's ridiculous. But that's what he was saying. I think you were on the chat. Maybe you're a little drinky. But yeah, that's what he says. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was not you. Anyway, but yeah, Carrie was saying he could go through a bag of that a day. I'm like, okay, I guess bagged milk might make sense if you do that. He's like, oh, also I have this sealer device. I'm like, yeah, I just buy it in a carton and then I just put the top back on.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't need your fancy Ziploc sealer device, you weirdo.
Well, and my wife also buys lactose free milk. So I mean, and we don't drink a lot of milk in our family, so it's like that. I think a carton of milk will last us like a month and a half, and it'll still be totally fine by the end. It almost never goes bad. So
I literally put some milk in our coffee, and that's about it.
That's pretty much
what I use it for.
Agnes used to put it in her oatmeal, but for reasons she doesn't usually do oatmeal in the morning anymore. So we don't really have much use for milk. So it's like a carton will just last a month and a half for coffee.
But you got Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
You know,
Good one, Nick.
You're welcome.
Thank
you, Jamie.
You know who I think a big milk drinker is? Jamie Zinger.
Jamie sounds like a person who's all about getting his calcium intake.
Are you saying he's the type of person that might mix milk into that glass of his and have a milkshake?
Like nut milk into that.
Hazy?
I'll look at that nut milk, like right, Brandon?
Not nut milk.
Nut milk.
I mean, it's already a hazy IPA or whatever, so it's already ruined. So he might as well just ruin it more by putting milk in it.
Brandon's like, I still have a ton of games. My ColecoVision doesn't work. Bunch of numbers with a big joystick. Yeah. ColecoVision was the first console he ever played because it was my dad's. Then I had an NES, which is probably also your dad's. When I was playing NES, Super NES was probably out, but I never knew at the time because I was only 4 or 5. Yeah, well, a Super NES was out. Like, I had a Super NES. I knew there was Super NES was out for years. Like, I think Super NES came out 1990 or 91. And I had a Super NES in 1995.
Hey, Brandon, we're talking about milk now. If you were in the chat, you'd be up to date.
Yeah.
You're like 10 minutes behind Brandon.
Loser.
Well, technically, I'm reading comments for like 7 minutes ago. So, but I remember I was playing Coleco when I was like 4 years old for sure. So like 1995, according to Brandon. Yeah, Dwayne's peanut juice. Yeah, there's a coworker of ours who's from Jamaica, and he likes to drink peanut punch.
Nut
that he
punch.
gets. Like it's like this, like these like juice cartons that you can buy in the international food section.
Oh yeah,
but
we
like
have them at
punch.
we have.
They're good. They're actually really good. It's like drinking liquid peanut butter. They're tasty, but like we make fun of him for like he likes to drink nut punch.
There's a ringing endorsement. It's like drinking liquid peanut butter. Doesn't sound good to me, but that's just me.
Hey, are you not enough of a fat slovenly fuck? Would you like to get your peanut butter in a much more drinkable form? Here it is.
Nut milk. Get your nut milk.
Are you tired of spreading peanut butter and it's too hard? Wah wah. Peanut butter is also. Yeah. Try nut milk.
Listen, I am that fat fuck who loves peanut butter. So you give peanut butter to me anyway. You inject it into me, and I'll accept it.
Wow.
No, I actually really like the stuff. So But I tried to cut a couple of cartons on his recommendation. I'm like, these are actually really good. But like we keep making fun of him because he loves to drink nut milk.
Yeah. Later on, you actually find out he's the weirdest serial killer. He puts it in squirt guns and he goes around looking for people with allergies. And he's just like,
That's how he subdues his victims.
It's been a while since Canada has had a good serial killer, so I kind of hope that story is actually true. Like, we just lost our good buddy Bob Picton, and fucking
Bob Picton.
Yeah, you had that fucking Bruce MacArthur. He murdered a bunch of gays in the village that the cops didn't care about for like 10 years. And I mean, and then good old Bernardo, who's out there, who's in prison still. I mean, we need a good new serial killer. We haven't had one in a while. I guess Bernardo wasn't really a serial killer. But
what's the New Brunswick serial killer? Alan Legier.
Yeah, Bernardo didn't get a chance to kill enough people to be like.
No, he was a serial rapist, but not so much a killer. But but yeah, I mean, we need Brandon. Maybe Brandon and Nick can be like.
Brandon could be the new serial killer. You can start with.
I don't think there's been a good duo of serial killers. Like maybe Brandon and Nick can get a van and just drive up and down the highways of the coast.
And look for a big fat woman.
There you go.
She a big fat woman.
Are you about a size 14?
Yeah. Nick could say from the van, is like, "Can you help me get this up in my van?" And then Brandon be waiting in the van with like a big monkey wrench.
Big couch.
Yeah.
You were size 14.
But I like the idea of the idea of the peanut allergy gimmick. So like you have it in a squirt gun or whatever, and then
a squirt gun full of nut milk.
Yeah, so because if Canada's gonna go back on the serial killer radar, we should go big and weird. Really?
Yeah, it's got to be something weird like that.
Yeah. So like
anyone can stab or shoot a guy.
Exactly.
But can you squirt him with peanut butter?
Yeah, you squirt them with peanut butter and make them like go into like some sort of shock, and that's when you put the body in the van and then go off with it.
Now I'm gonna go a little bit. You can go a little bit further with this, although granted it requires a lot more engineering talent. But you could have a bee gun and shoot bees at them.
There you go.
The Netherman's killers with the ear on the loose with Dwayne's drawer full of nut juice.
You almost made that sentence work, Brandon, but
he tried so hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I appreciate the
effort.
The Netherman's killers here on the loose. Dwayne's drawer full of nut juice.
On the loose. No one can stop us now. Tonight we're on the loose.
That's true.
With our nut juice.
Going for a saga here.
Yeah. So yeah. Nick is like he pretends to be the cripple guy and needs help getting his bike put in the van.
Good idea.
And that's how you
size 4. Then I asked her if she's about a size 14.
Yeah, just as she's pushing the bike into the van, are you about a size 14? And then Brandon comes up behind her and whacks her with a monkey wrench, and then they just stuff her in the van.
If you don't know, Brandon, we're referencing Silence of the Lambs. So
yeah. Nick's on his bike. Would you ride me? I'd ride me.
I'd ride me so hard.
Wait! Is it gonna be Nick or Brandon that tucks and looks at themselves in the mirror?
I just picture them doing it.
My horse.
I just picture them doing it together.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ!
Both of them just come walking into frame from either side with their bathrobes on, and they just sort of open them up and just start going.
I mean, maybe we include Scott in this. Maybe Scott will have an all-you-can-eat fruit basket.
That would be the little dog who falls down the well, and then they're like, "You put it back in the basket."
Put the lotion in the basket and gets the hose again.
Oh, yeah,
put the peanut butter in the basket.
It puts the nut milk in the basket or it gets the hose again.
Jesus Christ.
Don't you hurt my dog.
Don't you hurt my dog.
Come here, Peanut. Come here,
Peanut. Speaking of hurting dogs, there's kept your reviews in the chat. They cheers up.
I
wouldn't say Craig would not hurt dogs. We know he would not. I'm just saying.
No, he would definitely like. Craig might be the current version of Jack the Ripper, but he would never hurt a dog.
No,
You would never hurt a dog. You maybe hurt a woman's vagina, but I mean,
Man, he's
you
up
would
there.
never hurt a dog.
A bunch of hookers in Whitechapel. Why not?
Craig's either up late or very early. One or the other.
Yeah, he's really late. Like it's like 3:33 a.m. at his time, I think.
Maybe he just likes to be up late. Maybe he's giving
You
it a
never
little
know.
slog or a wanking.
Schlager. Cheers, Craig. Nice to see you, buddy. Missed you, man.
So apparently he might be showing up in Toronto.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
interesting?
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. You said when did he say he was coming to
End of July somewhere.
in July? Yeah. I wouldn't be able to make it up at that point, but I hope somebody does meet like Greg, good friend Greg.
Well, if he's depending
he's
when he
always
shows up,
up.
I certainly
He
could.
never sleeps.
He's
Apparently,
like a bat.
he's
Or
always up. He's like eggplant emoji.
Or he just always has a boner.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying. But
I mean, that's how he attracts all the hookers he murders. So there we go.
Right.
oh, he's UK's newest serial killer.
That's right. But yeah,
Well,
yeah,
he does
man.
change his appearance a lot. Like one day he has a big fro, then he shaves it off, and
Next day he's wearing like a fedora or a trilby or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, he's a master of disguise, really, when you think about it.
yeah, and his
Next he's got his
accent.
dick tucked and he's dancing to Q Lazarus.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, his accent
hilarious.
comes and goes.
Yeah, sometimes he just sounds like North American, and it's weird.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, when he comes to Toronto, I don't know. Once you let us know if you're coming to Toronto and when it is, I mean, maybe we can even get the North Bay Battalion to show up and annoy you.
They could probably make it up, yeah, I assume.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Lee's been trying to get a piss up going on in the summer, although it doesn't seem like that many people are interested. So
No.
I feel like with me, it's like I would come up, but I need some warning so I can save
Yeah.
up for the trip. But I feel like there's been no.
And I'd have to be invited.
I mean, you're always invited.
Jamie has to be invited,
Yeah,
but there's been no concrete or solid date. I think she's waiting for one of us to make the choices or make the decision. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm not involved.
I mean, I talked.
Greg never wants to come in the Maritimes anymore, so
one day maybe I will, maybe. But I talked to her about it because, like, probably it would happen at my place anyway. I talked to her about it. I said, "Listen, set a date," because she keeps saying, "Hey guys, can we pick a day?" I'm like, "Listen, Lee."
I feel it's the indecisiveness. I feel like she wants you to do it, and you're like, "Well, what works for you?"
I'm like, most weekends work for me. I have very little plans set up in the summer right now. I'm like, whatever weekend works. I mean, you work around whatever your teaching and work schedule, whatever it is, or I'm sure she's going to want to bring Rob, so whatever his schedule is, like, it's like fucking like set it up, and then I'm good for whatever. But
at this point, like the time to discuss that was months ago. I'm tapped out for the summer at this point. Like, so I would love to go, but I mean, at this point, the soonest I can do something would be the fall.
I mean, technically, it was brought up months and months ago, like half a year.
Yes, yeah, it was, but no solid plans were made.
Well, at some point, somebody needs to say, "Here's the fucking date. Make it if you can. Make it if you can't. Whatever."
Yeah.
I'll just lure her back to my pool with the Pride beer, and we're good to go.
With Pride beer in your dick, or Agnes's titties.
More likely Agnes's titties.
Yeah.
But yes.
Right.
They attract more than my dick does.
Anyway, I'm gonna take this shit offline because I'm gonna go to bed. Craig, if you're still up and you want a link, let us know. We'll send you a link. If one in the Facebook chat and you're still part of anyway.
I mean, he can scroll up.
Exactly. I don't think you have to scroll up far because I don't think there's been many comments since we posted the link.
A couple of pictures of beer here and there.
Yeah.
So
Dan's been there. Fuck you, Jamie. Like, okay, I don't know who's who. Brandon says, "Nice talking to anyone. Have a good night, everyone.
Good
Make
night.
sure to show up for work tomorrow, Brandon.
Yeah. Making everyone fuck you, Jamie, wasn't the best idea I've ever had.
Yeah.
If only someone would clear the nicknames.
No one
If
ever
only
does
someone
it,
would go in to clear the nicknames that would make us change everybody's name afterwards to
I've
fuck
never.
you, Jamie.
I mean, if anything we've learned is that we need Jamie to perform genocide here and there.
I know.
Nickname
I do
aside.
it. And people bitch every time. It's part of the fun.
Yeah, Jamie needs to be the Israeli of the chat and perform some genocide.
Oh.
Did I just say that?
Oh,
Chris Peters killed those women.
What's that? My Wi-Fi cut out. I didn't hear any of that.
Oh,
Hamas not be talking about the Israeli.
How do you turn this shit off? Jesus Christ!
All right, have a good night.
Chris Peters.
Now-